Welcome to What a Creep, the show with Margot Donahue and Sonia Mansfield talking about creeps from the past to the present.
This is your quick guide to the biggest creeps, jerks, assholes, and losers, the best of the worst.
From two nice ladies who want the world to be a little less creepy. Welcome back to What a Creep. This is Margot Donahue, and my cohort in creepitude, as always, is the amazing Sonia Mansfield. Hey, Sonia.
Hello, my friend.
Hello, my friend. And we have a riot of an episode today.
No! I don't get it. I don't get it.
We're the podcast that talks about creeps from the past to the present. Today, we're talking about an event in history that you may not have heard about before. I'm excited to present this to you. What we do is that we challenge the other person who's giving the story. I give the story. Sonia this week is going to give you the non-creep, and I'm really excited about what she's going to be presenting today. If you follow us on social media, that would be our Facebook group. The Facebook page is like a basic Facebook page. We rarely check it, and it's a place where people go to complain about us either being racist or having bad, salty language. Racism.
Yeah, we're so racist against white people. Yes, that's a thing. Sure.
We have a private Facebook group you can join. You do have to answer a few questions and just not be a dick, and you'll have a good time there. We're very proud of that. We are on Twitter at CreepPod because somebody had What a Creep for 10 years and never used it.
Creep.
We're on Instagram at What a Creep Podcast. We have a basic old-timey email. You can send us suggestions there. It's whatacreeppodcast@gmail.com. We will also send you stickers if you would like some. We'll drop that in the mail for you. And Sonia, do you want to talk about the website?
Yes, you can go to whatacreeppodcast.com, and it's everything you ever wanted to know about our show, but we're afraid to ask. It's got links to almost all of our episodes, except for seasons 1 through 4, which are on the Patreon page. More on that in a minute. And there's a link to our merch shop where you can get t-shirts and journals and tote bags. And we have our logo, and we have Damn It Max, and maybe next year. And what's the other one? Masked and Vaxxed.
Yep.
I think was the other design on there. So do it. Buy some stuff. The mugs are great. The t-shirts are soft. The tote bags, they tote stuff.
They
do
tote
it
very well.
Yeah. They're toterific.
So you mentioned we have a Patreon page. If you want to support the show that way, the first 4 seasons of our show are now up there. They're just for Patreon members. We put out 2 bonus episodes a month. The next one is going to be hilarious because we're going to read our 1-star reviews on there from iTunes. Now, please, this is not to encourage you to leave 1-star reviews. You can leave a 5-star and then write something shitty as a joke in there. That's totally fine. But I do want to thank a few people who left us 5-star reviews, Sonia. They are Dog Lover Tara, My Green Left Eye, and whatever, and Kelbell 255. Thank you all so much for leaving us 5-star reviews.
I need more cowbell. I need more cowbell. Look, I've got a fever, and the only cure is more cowbell.
Is there anything else? We're just babbling along here. Is there anything else we need to present, or are we ready to jump into the show?
No, I think we're ready.
Okay. Sonia.
Yes.
Let me pull this up. Sorry. That's what she said. He said? That's what he said. We're silly. It's the end of the day.
It is. It's the end of a short week. But
yes.
For some reason, it still felt long.
It certainly did. I hope you all had a good week. And we're going to be talking about today the Sleepy Lagoon murder, which led to the Zoot Suit Riots. This happened in L.A. between 1942 and 44. On August 2nd, 1942, Jose Gallardo Diaz, he was 22 years old. He was found unconscious, in an area known as the Sleepy Lagoon. And that was sort of this watering place where it was used for irrigation. Mexican Americans would use it as a swimming area. Because of the racism in LA, they couldn't sleep in the public pools, even though they paid taxes for the public pools. And then at night, the Sleepy Lagoon was kind of like a lover's lane type of place.
Okay.
When they found him, he had multiple head injuries, was stabbed at least twice, and had a broken finger and a very high alcohol level. He was at a party.
Okay.
He died at the Los Angeles hospital on that Sunday. His brother managed to arrive just in time to identify him. And the police responded by doing a complete sweep of Mexican-American neighborhoods in L.A. And this kind of caught the imagination of the police and the media, mostly from future creep William Randolph Hearst. We will talk about him one day. He's definitely on the list.
He is on the list.
Yikes, he's really terrible. Anyway, these kids were called Zoot-suiters, and we'll talk about that. They were seen as a dangerous element and that they were causing a crime wave. The phrase De-Zoot, the suit, was often used in media. Yikes. His murder, by the way, to this day remains unsolved. Shocking. But it was the catalyst for the Zoot Suit Riots that happened the following summer. If you've heard the Cherry Poppin Daddies, that was the name of the band, and I didn't even realize how horrible it was until...
I didn't even think, honestly,
Ever.
I knew the song. So at some point, we all went through like a swing phase, right? And it was all like squirrel nut zippers and
Brian
and
Setzer
Cherry Pop-
Orchestra.
yeah, all of that.
excuse me.
And then we had Cherry Poppin Daddies, which and the song Zoot Suit Riot. And I've never heard of the Zoot Suit Riots, by the way. And I did not do any research on them because Marco told me not to. But that name is so
Fucking creepy.
fucking gross.
Yeah.
It's so gross. It's like, I think I wrote it on our Facebook page. I'm like, Cherry Poppin' Dad's like virgin taken fathers. Yeah. Woo! Like, it's so gross. Like, could you imagine like someone having that band name now?
It's when somebody thinks they're being naughty, and I think that was the idea, but now it's just really fucking gross. I mean,
Yeah.
1997, y'all.
Yeah.
This is 25 years ago.
I don't want to brag, but I'm a Cherry Poppin' Daddy. Yeah. I put it as a tagline on my MySpace page. Woo! Like, so gross.
You have no idea how popular swing was for a little while there in the late 90s.
So weird.
It was very weird. If you do hear that song and it's called Zoot Suit Riot, you will get absolutely no idea about the horrible event
No.
that happened.
No.
What this did to the Chicano and African American community in Los Angeles. This episode, we will talk about the Sleepy Lagoon murders, the sham of a trial that happened afterwards, these Zoot Suit Riots, the real ones, of LA in 1943, trigger warnings, racism, and my terrible attempts at Spanish. You have been warned. Oh, but I should say, my good friend Margot Porras, Margot P. from Book versus Movie, was somebody that I reached out to because she is Mexican American and she writes about Mexican American issues, especially on the West Coast in California. So don't blame her for anything, by the way. But I'm just saying that I did consult people, so hopefully I'm not going to be an idiot.
Yeah.
Sleepy Lagoon Murders, the wiki page, the PBS American Experience video, the Sleepy Lagoon Defendants. There's also an old-timey website, the Sleepy Lagoon website. Sorry. The LA Law Library. No, Corbin Burnson isn't there.
Wah. Disappointing. Forget it.
A few things that I read. Sleepy Lagoon Mystery by Guy and Dore. The Zoot Suit Riots by Maurizio Maison. The Zoot Suit Riots by Charles Rivers Editors. There's a movie called Zoot Suit, 1981, that stars Edward James Olmos, which is based on the play.
I'd never heard of this.
None of these things.
I'm fascinated.
And I put the clip to the link for the Zoot Suit Riot by the Cherry Poppin Daddies, just for all of y'all. Because God forbid.
Zoot Suit Riots.
Riot!
Grab another bottle of beer.
Yeah, so the Cherry Poppin Daddies, Steve Perry, was asked about the Zoot Suit Riots. And they said to him, what's that all about? And he's like, I didn't really do a lot of, I'm paraphrasing, but he said, I didn't really do a lot of research on it, but I heard what it was. And I imagined that there were a bunch of kids that loved swing dancing, and some of these sailors came along and gave them a hard time because they were nerds. So that's what I think happened. And I'm like, LOL to the research. You did.
He was too busy popping cherries to do research.
Don't say that.
Yeah, boy. Popping cherries. Yeah. You can't see me, but I'm acting a fool right now.
Yeah, you are. You are. I had to put my script back up. We'll start with
Gross.
Jose Diaz. He was 22 on the day that he died and was exactly 2 days away from joining the Navy. He was originally born in Mexico, and then his family came up the coast. What's interesting about America and about California and about our Mexican culture is that Mexico was a part of California for a long time, and then it wasn't. And that's just what happens. Borders are created and made, and things are moved around. But if you think Mexican racism against Mexicans is sort of a new thing, oh, no. It's been going on for over 100 years. This is a country that we are proud of our immigrant culture until it interferes with our white European perspective, and then
Till we're mildly inconvenienced.
exactly. I was mentioning it was the Sleepy Lagoon. It was a reservoir. It's the way where the Mexican American kids would hang out because it was segregated in LA, where Mexicans could go to church, where they could eat, where they could swim, what libraries they could use. It was really that bad. In 1942, this is where we're going to, the summer of 1942. So the December 7th, previously it was Pearl Harbor, and all these American men start joining the war effort. LA and San Diego are big ports on the West Coast for this. I should also say in 1942, if you've never heard of this, we had things called Japanese internment camps.
Oh, boy.
Where Japanese Americans were put in camps.
Yes.
Their entire families, they were made to sell their businesses. They were forced out. And
It's awful. It's awful.
It is a horrible stain on our country.
American citizens
Yeah.
that they did this to. It's beyond fucked up.
Yeah. So that was the thinking at the time. If you have a problem with somebody, if Japan bombed Hawaii, so we therefore have to blame every Japanese person that's in America, even though they have nothing to do with what anyway.
Yes.
It's wrong. Now, because these men were preparing for war, the need for workers became so crucial. This is true. That Mexicans and Mexican Americans who were at one point forced back to Mexico during the Depression because we needed jobs for the white men.
Yes.
There were thousands that were sent back to America to take over for jobs for, once again, men and women that are going to be serving overseas. It was called the Brocaro Program. There's also at this time an influx of African Americans from the South coming to LA to look for opportunities. This is all kind of bubbling over. And if you're not familiar with the geography of LA, I don't know why I said it that way, geography. LA to me is like the suburbs. It's just very spread out. Like
Yes.
San Francisco's pretty small. New York City, Manhattan, it kind of is compact. Like it's a city. That's
Yes.
LA is, I think it's like a bunch of suburbs and there's a little bit of a city here and there. The Mexican Americans that worked in the farm, and a lot of them worked on farms at the time, tended to live what was called the barrio, but there's these places outside of Los Angeles proper. But then there was also a section of Watts, there's 38th Street, which was mainly Mexican American and African American at the time. Okay. Now I want to talk to you about zoot suits and jazz music. Do you know what a zoot suit is, even?
It's a suit that you zoot in. No, I'm kidding. No, it's high-waisted pants, right? Like really
Yep.
high and like kind of a long jacket.
Yep.
Okay. And the pants are baggy?
They're very
Right?
baggy, but they cuff
Yeah.
at the ankle.
Yes.
So it's slender on the way
yeah.
down. It started with African American communities in New York and Chicago. Jazz music is a uniquely American type of music. It was created here, pretty much decided it's one of the American art forms with baseball. You have hot dogs, baseball, jazz music. Jazz music is known for, there's a pattern of a music that's set up, and then you use those notes, and then people can go around them. Improv. It's improvisation.
Yeah, you can like riff.
Riffing, improvisation is sort of this form. So it was like Dixieland music.